Hi, this is Christopher Clark, Town Administrator for the Town of Harwich. I thought I would spend a little bit of time today just kind of taking a look back at 2018 and a little bit of a look forward into 2019 for kind of what we've accomplished in this year and what we look to accomplish for 2019. So a little bit of a transition moment. One thing that I think 2018 had, obviously there was some change in the Board of Selectmen. I think that we had, as an offshoot to some of the activities in 2018, was that new committees were formed. And I think some of the new committees that got formed were relative to Harwich Port really is a very vibrant area in the community. And sometimes vibrancy creates traffic issues and sound issues. So there was a parking committee that was formed to start to look at how can we address some of the parking issues that are a byproduct of the success of the businesses in Harwich Port. So I think it's very important to keep those businesses vibrant and work cooperatively with those businesses as much as we can, and to try to allow for that vibrancy to continue while paying attention and trying to be respectful of the neighbors in that vicinity. Also in 2018, there was the Harwich Center initiative. I think this year has been a focal point on Harwich Center to see what we can accomplish in terms of making improvements. Harwich Port has, as indicated, been pretty vibrant. And I think now if we can turn our attention and see are there ways to improve what we're doing in Harwich Center. So the Board of Selectmen did create the Harwich Center Initiative Committee to kind of look at what improvements could be used to improve that area. We also have the ADA Committee, or the Harwich, I think they call themselves HARC Committee. They are looking at ADA accessibility issues, specifically in town buildings. So that was a grant that was done by Matt Hart and submitted and approved for about $30,000 to do some work to study ADA, how accessible are we. I think the good news from my perspective is that the report came out pretty favorably for us. But there's always room for improvement, and the report highlighted some of those areas that we need to look at. I think doing the roadway improvements and looking at sidewalks in this area has been a focal point. It was on the capital plan in my first year. I came here, and it's just something that I think now the time and attention is right to see if we can address. So we have submitted some grants for that, and hopefully we can use some grant money to move some of these projects forward. Also, one of the new committees was the Housing Trust. I think at my last dedication here I had for kind of doing an overview of what the Housing Trust does. So I'm not going to elaborate too much for this video, but obviously the Housing Trust was formed and we are up and operational, and we had a meeting in November. We have another meeting scheduled for December, and I am pretty optimistic that we will be able to find some options for people moving forward in the community. On the sewer project, this year was a lot more planning. Obviously, town meeting and the electorate did vote to go forward with phase 2, the East Harwich part of the project. So that work has been progressing. The design has been progressing. A lot of education has gone into trying to inform people of that project. And so I think we're at a stage now where the design is coming to a conclusion, and we'll start to turn our attention to actual construction. And then on Lower County Road in 2018, we had a focal point. Lower County Road, we are looking at making improvements for that. And in 2018, the water department actually went in and started to replace some water lines and some service lines down those streets by the water to try to help the situation for water flow in that area. So that work has just recently finished. So that was a major effort by the Water Commission and the Water Department this year, and I think they did a pretty good job of accomplishing that in a timely fashion. And a lot of those resources and assistance in that was done by in-house personnel. The contractor was an outside contractor that did the work. I think it was Bobby Hour that did the work, and we've had a good relationship with Hour. So kind of looking forward to 2019, just giving people a little bit of a heads up for potential or things that I would see initially here, at first glance, for 2019. Number one, it's a little funny to say 2019. We are progressing pretty quickly here through the calendar. But the Housing Trust will have some articles for town meeting to consider for parcels that we would ask to take from general municipal use and put towards housing, affordable housing use. As I've indicated in other videos, to me, affordable housing is really housing for town employees, housing for employees in different businesses here, and just people trying to start off. So it is helping a neighbor to get started by having a house. So I think the Housing Trust is hopefully hitting the ground running in 18, and hopefully we'll be able to provide some projects to move us forward specifically in 19. I think moving forward too on the sewer project is we would look for the spring of 19 for construction to start. I think some construction can be done over the summertime in some of the more isolated road areas. Route 137 will probably be held off on making sure that we avoid any heavy traffic areas during that construction, but we will intend on doing some construction even during the summer. The Robert F. Smith Colebrook Preserve, we've had a lot of discussions. This has been a year of planning, and hopefully we will have a more finalized plan to submit to the regulators and get regulatory approval to start doing some improvements to convert the cranberry bog back into a more natural marsh and pond system to help the environment overall, help eels, help herring move up that system, also to help with nitrogen removal by having a pond system. In terms of partnership on the Robert F. Smith, we have a partnership with Harwich Conservation Trust and some other state agencies, so it's really a coordinated effort. One thing I think you will see hopefully in 2019 is more progress on the Dennis, Harwich, and Yarmouth DHY partnership for wastewater, with the idea that there could be some action requested of town meeting to form that agency. Last year it was an authorization to put legislation forward to allow the legislature to create a new independent agency, and this would be to actually create the articles of organization for that agency to work under, as well as potentially seeking some funding for letting that project go forward. So that is, I think, kind of exciting to once again enter into a partnership with 3 towns. We already have a partnership with Chatham to address a serious issue. And then Lower County Road, we are actually looking for, now that the water work is done, the road hasn't been permanently paved. I think one of the largest projects that we will seek to undertake in 2019 is the Lower County Road project. Just a reminder to folks, in order to maintain the look and the feel of the road, we need to keep that looking the same. We're not able to use federal funds, TIP funds, Transportation Improvement Program funds, because they require that you change the character and nature of the street. So we are going to be requesting local funds to do that as a debt exclusion. There are a couple other smaller debt exclusions, but we are trying to have a year of lesser debt exclusions in general. And so hopefully we'll have 2 construction seasons and Lower County will be done. I know with the sewer project, we will have 2019 promises to be another year of roadway disruption, but you really can't bake a cake without cracking some eggs. So sometimes things have to be kind of in a little bit of upheaval with the idea that in 3 to 4 years, when we're through all this, we will have a road system that we could be proud of, and a sewer system and water system that will do what it's intended to do. I know I've gotten I'm coming up on the 10-minute mark, so I apologize for being long. It is nice to have a wrap up. Just one personal note, final personal note. I started with the town in December 27th of 2013. So I will be at my doorstep here of my 5-year anniversary, being with the community for 5 years. And as I've indicated in earlier videos, this year, 2018, moved to town. So I do look forward to, and I've enjoyed my time the last couple years with the town of Harwich, and hopefully have many more. So I just wish your family the warmest wishes during this holiday season, and look forward to a fruitful and prosperous 2019. Christopher Clark, thank you for your time and attention.